Yeah, I don't even know what I'd name the mid-game guy, because the other one is just a new player reference, aka guided tour. It's not. I don't even call it Idle Champions 101 or something. So probably why I never wrote it down. All right, so we have Wyll. We unlocked Wyll. Wyll over here. He is neutral good. And 14, so we can pop these straw chests. We can pop one of these straw chests for Wyll. And we got a green. I'm going to open another one. Should at least get another green, I would think. Holy good lord. Folks, that's the third epic out of patron chests today. Out of 4 patron chests. I've opened 4 patron chests today that were they were rewards from earning, collection quests. 3 epics. And at least this one was on an event champion. The other 2 were on core champ or evergreens. All right, and we did get a green. We did get a green, so now we can pop this, and we'll get a blue. There's a blue and another green, and a dupe green. God, why'd you have to do? You have to do that to me. All right, so we got 3 slots. We got gear in 3 out of 6 slots. That's not bad. Could have been better. Could have had another, instead of a dupe on this, it could have been one of these, but. All right, Nordham got another epic. He's 3 out of 6. Whatever, Nordham. Enjoy sitting on the bench with that epic, Nordham. Okay, school equals general foundational knowledge. You mean like your regular, what here would be grade school and middle school and high school, and then college is just your focus of study. Yeah, a whole different thing here. Good one guide for including new champions to existing formations. I don't do that, Maxie. You should know this by now. I don't do including new champions in existing formations or strategies. I don't even do formations and strategy guides. I have a formations 101 guide for people to learn how to build their own freaking formations and stop asking for everybody else for help, bro. So that wouldn't even be me. Yeah. And my new player reference, the new player reference, will have a like a planning ahead section, which is kind of what you're talking about, like short term and medium term goals. Hopefully that'll teach people to keep things in mind. But yeah, I don't do. There's 130 something champions in the game. I'm not telling. I mean, the guide for the champion is where you should go if you want to learn how to use that champion and fit them into existing formations. Just read the information. Like, I'm not going to spoon feed it. Like, find 5-6 different ways to spoon feed information to people, because it's already in the champion guide. That's why I try to add like notes about abilities. That's my attempt to help people understand how the champion is going to be used. But at some point I got to do a whole other pass on all the champion guides again, and if I'm making any kinds of changes to understanding it, it'd be then. Yeah, I like to teach people how to fish. I'm not going fishing for them. That's this whole idea. I know people love like getting help in the Discord and like, people spend all their time in the Discord to help answering questions. It's like, look, I got guides for that. I learned a long time ago, I ain't got enough time to help all those people. I can help way more people if I just make a guide, I post it somewhere, and I make sure you can find it. Making sure you can find it is the hard part. But I do my best. That helps way more people than me trying to like one-on-one help people in a Discord or something. I just can't. I mean, I'll do that. If people have questions, I try to help. Streams, you know, again, streams. People ask questions. Great. I can show people what I'm doing, and hopefully that answers it for lots of people, even if they didn't even know they had that question yet. They learn in advance. That's great. But there's always a certain amount of personal responsibility players have to take, right? You got to at least be able to go and do some of this on your own, or you're not really playing the game. Someone else is playing it for you. Yeah. I mean, I put recommended formations in my champion guides for the events, but it's literally just, I use those as examples. Here's an example formation using champions everyone has. And then I tell people, take this and modify it based off what you have. No one can see all possible formation. Asking for help. I'm not saying asking for help isn't a bad thing. I'm saying if people have questions, yeah, go ask for help. But what I'm not going to do is try to come up with written guides that could potentially answer every possible question about formation building. I'm not doing it. I can't. I don't. There isn't enough time or money. There isn't enough time or money for me to do that. Yeah. I mean, I make more for off of streaming now than I make off my guides, based off like the Epic Game Store money and Ko-Fi and all that kind of stuff. That's the funding for my guides, and that's way less than just streaming nowadays. So I try to combine. I try to make guides on streams so that we keep up the guide base. But there isn't a whole lot of money in posting free guides on the internet. I don't know if anybody knew that. Glad you found this helpful. But yeah, I don't know. I know people really enjoyed, like, there was the person on Steam who used to post like meta formations all the time for each campaign, and people really liked that. They quit the game. I'm not going to say it's because it's hard to keep up a guide like that, but I am going to say that I guarantee it factored in. I guarantee the amount of work it took to keep something like that up, and the very little they got back from it. Along with just, the game being frustrating and changing into a way they didn't really want. Like that, it can weigh on you more. That's why I don't get in. I stick to the new player stuff. I don't get into the rest because people get like the one time I dipped my toe into tier lists. I mean, there weren't a whole lot of, people saw, like, there were a few comments publicly in guides, but there were also like messages from people that you don't see, like people in my Reddit DMs or on Discord. I'm like, no, I'm done. It is not worth all of the complaining I'm hearing from people. That's just not. Yeah, that's why I like the streaming. I think it's a lot easier to stream, and if I can demonstrate on the stream, that's way better. The posts on Reddit aren't the greatest way to convey all the information, but it was free, and it was a place where everybody was, so it made it easy for people to access. And that's a big part of it, right? I did not want to build another fan site. Well, my foray into tier lists, I was trying to make it a bit more objective. I was trying to rate things based off some objective values. The problem is then people were coming in with subjective opinions, and I'm like, look, make your own tier list. If you don't like mine, and that was my thing, is and ultimately I got tired of saying it over and over again. If you don't like my tier list, make your own. A grand total of 0 people went out and made their own. At the time. Now we have like Tier Deck does tier lists. Some other people have done tier lists. Yeah. Like I was choosing to divide it by roles, so support, DPS, gold find, speed, healing, and then I was doing like the rating of those champions in and of that specific role only. And people still, still unhappy. And it's like, well, there's no. I already understand. There's no making everybody happy. But I was at least trying to do it in an objective way that I didn't think people could argue with too much, and yet they still did. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I mean, we have our fun when I make like the little fun fluff posts. That's But I enjoy making guides. That's why I started doing this a long time ago. And again, part of it is just I'm organizing the information for my own head, for my own understanding. If I'm doing that, I might as well post it online for other people. That's always been the philosophy. And that goes back to when I used to make event guides for Warhammer Online. It was because I need to find all this information so that I can optimize my time during these events in this MMO. And then I was like, well, I mean, then I might as well share this with other people who, like me, probably aren't, may not have a lot of time to spend in this event over the weekend and just want to get as much done as they can. And so I started posting those, and that became a big deal. But also, like, we could build like an armor guide. That was the first guide I posted. And that was because I realized, oh God, there's armor sets all over the place, but I have no way to know what they do. There was no way to know, like, where these different sets were or what they did. And there was a database site, like it was Curse, where if you knew the name of the item you were looking for, you could look it up. But how were you supposed to know the names when you didn't even know they existed or where to find them? So I built an armor guide that listed all the names and where to find them with the data, with the basic data. But then people at least had that and could use it for more. And then over time, I developed that further and turned it into the definitive guide to armor with like pictures and everything. But that took a few years. But yeah, ultimately, it just started as everything. It starts with me trying to figure out how to. I need more information to do this right. And like the first time an event dropped, the first event was for Stokey, High Harvest Tide for Stokey, and I did it. And then afterwards, I realized, oh God, and talking to my friend who was playing at the time, oh God, this is. I did not know lots of information about this. And so then the next event, Liar's Night, for Krond, I made a guide just to help people who, like me, were like, oh God, I didn't know this was all this was a thing. And even then, if you go back and look at my first guide, it's bad. It was not good, but it was better than anything else that was out at the time. Anyway, hold on. Let me find. Can I find that again? I found it once, and it's shockingly bad. Yes, this is it. Because I didn't even call it the right thing. It was Liar's Night, and I called it Gar's Guide to the Trickster's Delight event because the name of the adventure was the Trickster's Delight, and I didn't even know enough about events back then to know that. Oh, the event has its own name, and then there's an adventure name in it. There's a lot of bad information in here. Don't leave the first mission until you farmed up at least 1,000 targets for the next mission. Not true. You got the currency earning rates right. And I got farming for gear right. Good for me. Yeah, I did Kron's layout and then some info on the missions. What his achievements were, and then basic information on Kron. If you want to know how bad Kron was at launch, here you go. He had no abilities. He just had his cantrips. That was it. That was literally it. He just had cantrips. Oh my god. I forgot how bad that was. But even that was more information than anybody knew at the time about it. But like, people were like, oh my god, I didn't know this and that. And so those have come a long way. Right? Iterating is good. I don't know why I didn't bother like doing a speed potion for this one. We kind of want to. We do kind of want to get like a weird level. So I just want to get one silver. I don't know that I found a lot of value in getting the rest of those silvers for freely. Not really worth the potions I spent on it. The favor, I mean, solid, but I mean, we're gonna get way more favor when we do a deep run. Like using those potions on a deep run in Avernus would have been more favor than what we got. Thought Reddit articles lead to more discussion. They don't really. Like mine did back in the day, like in year one, but that was because nobody really knew how the game worked, and so people were talking about it. But yeah, people don't really discuss things. Like you're just posting. Reddit isn't a place to have discussions in a lot of cases. It wasn't really designed for that. Reddit was designed for you to just drop information in a post, and then people to either upvote it or downvote it, maybe make a comment on it. But it wasn't built for having conversations. It's not the greatest place to have conversations. But people just look for information there. It's not like forums where you have conversations with people and track stuff. It's not as bad as Discord. Discord is for live conversations. Reddit is more, hey, I'm just going to post information, and if you want to talk about it, great. And then everybody can see that conversation, but most people don't talk about it. They just don't. I don't really know why. But they don't. Yeah, and correcting or adding information, unless you're like, hey, let me know if there's information these like, I don't know. Even then, like most of the time, people just take whatever's there and move on. Again, in the early days of a game, you'll find a lot more conversation and discussion around game mechanics and stuff. We're 6.5 years in. People are just showing up and they kind of just reading it and taking it for whatever you give them, right? They're not really having whole lots of discussion unless it's something that's a bit more nuanced. New systems, sometimes you'll get discussions around trying to find the optimal way to participate with that system and that kind of thing. Yeah. Just depends on what the post is. Reached E75 and starting to get little to no increments. But yeah, it happens, dude. No, J-Dog. Where the hell did that come from? Yeah, it's either gar_guides because that keeps it the same as the command over on the C&D Games channel, or it's new player. ! New player. Not the best one. Because J-Dog would be up for a tier list of the best online forums, I guess. We're going to go past 75. We're going to get to 100, and then I'm probably just going to be like, yeah. This is gear for Wyll. We should probably get more silvers, but meh. Where's our goal? We're up to EO4. Next run will be better. And by better, I mean faster. Yeah, that was a speed potion. I recognize the swirl in that bottle. Wait. Go through this tab scar. Oh my god. Good lord. Barrage. I don't know why I bothered putting Tyrell in. Oh. This is way better. We're just killing with fire breath. But we don't have to tank anything. The range for normal trial solo 185. It's 185 to 200 in my opinion. I just go for 187 because it's a number I can remember. But 185 to 200. It might even be even a little lower. It might even be like 180 to 200, but all I can definitively say is I've done it twice solo that I can recall shooting for 187 and succeeding. So anything outside of that, I mean, I think it would be fine if it's a little lower or a little higher. But I haven't tested. I didn't do the math in any regards. Someone else did the math and then yeah. If anything, err on the lower side, right? Err in the 180 to 185 range. And don't use any contracts or scrolls, excuse me. Don't use any scrolls. Because what happens with when at 187 on day 7, there was day 7, even after doing day 7, there was like, I don't know, 5 or, no, there was still maybe like 7 or 8 million health left on Tiamat that had to burn through, which it burned through very quickly. So, if you go too high early, then if you go 190, 195, that amount of extra like cushion that you have goes down. Whereas if you went a little lower, it'd be a little bit bigger. I didn't have any issues in terms of like, was I worried that I might not finish in time at all? Like after I did day 7, no, not at all. Not even remotely an issue once it was done. Once I'd done my day 7. And so to me, that's like the nice happy area you want to be at. Most of Western society is built on the premise of someone else did the math. Well, I mean, specialization is important. Specialization of knowledge is important. Everybody can't know everything. That's just not how it works. It's good to have generalists, people that know a little bit about a lot of different things, absolutely. But it's also good to have people who know a lot about like 1 or 2 things. And I defer to them. Can I do math? Yes. Could I probably sit down and figure out how to factor out exactly what numbers I needed? Yeah, I'd get there. I wouldn't necessarily enjoy it, but I could get there. Night Dance Lover, thanks for hanging out. One of my favorite things is like, it used to be like going to when I'm interviewing developers and they'd be like, I'd be like, any chance I could talk to like server engineers or something? They'd be like, nobody wants to hear about what they do, and I'm all like, I do, and if I do, I guarantee other people do, but that was never really on the agenda. But hearing people who have very specific knowledge about things talk about it in a clear way is like, oh yes. So that's what I liked about Dawn Gate, because I got to talk about with one of the person, the queen of the Dawn Gate, Michaela, who was basically the server savant, the networking stuff and everything. She is so smart. That was a fun conversation. I didn't understand most of it, but she understood every bit of it, and I was like, nice. Like, as long as people, explain the base concepts and then go off, yeah, sure, it's great. Yeah, the thing about soloing it is you start on day one and you're like, there's no way. There's no way you can solo this. I'm looking at this damage. This is impossible. Day 2, day 3, day 4. This ain't gonna happen. Day 5. Is this gonna happen? Day 6. Oh my god. And then you drop day 7 and you're like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like we're on day 3 and we've wrecked her health as a party. Hey, they beat me. Good. Both of them beat me. Good. That's what I want. I don't want to have to do anything else. I don't have to do another run. And I don't have to do another one. She dead. She dead. In fact, let's see. How much time is it going to take for her to be dead? 60 seconds to a minute. 60, that's an hour. About 13 million damage an hour. I'll do 12 and a half. 20 hours. She's dead in 20 hours at this pace, so I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything, and she'll be dead before 6 days, before the 6-day reset. Everybody in the trial should be happy with that. If they're not, it's because they don't know any better. Which is fair. Early on, you don't know any better to know that, wow, we toasted her in like 4 days. That's that's fast. Because it is. It is. It'll change. It'll change though. Day 5, your first solo run on 187. She's exactly 50% health. Yeah. Yeah. What does Tiamat, killing Tiamat give? Scales of Tiamat. So if you go here, Scales of Tiamat, 3,280. And you take the Scales of Tiamat to the Legendary Forge, and if a champion, like Dragonbait, has an epic item, you can spend those scales to turn it into a legendary, to add a legendary effect. So now, on top of the regular ability that comes with this epic item of buffing scent roasted vegetables, I also have a legendary effect that increases the damage of all champions by 100%. So I've added a whole other effect to this item, and I can upgrade that effect. Every time I take this is level 1. Every time you take it up a level, the effect doubles. So at level 2, it would be 200%. Level 3, it would be 400%. Level 4, it would be 800%. Level 5 would be 1600%. And levels go all the way up to 20. Levels go all the way up to 20. So it's the legendary effects and leveling them. It's the most power you can get in the game. There's a ridiculous amount of power there. Did a legendary fall on, or did an epic fall on anybody else I wanna? No, I think we're good for now. I don't want a legendary every epic. I just want a legendary the ones on my pushing team that I like to use. Oh, the speed potion wore off. Okay. The speed potion wore off though. Got a white. Do I just want to rely on electrums for Wyll, or do I, this is the challenge? Because using electrums can get me these other slots. Or do I want to push another 50? We still got what? We still got the variant? No, I've still got the variant to do. At 175. Use one of the smalls and see. What we can do? Switch to... Nope. God dang it. Let's switch to nope. Let's switch in some speed champions. That's what we're gonna switch into. What else do we want? We could bring in Dirty Diamond. God dang it! Every time, for some reason, my mind thinks this is the add this champion button. That's not how it works. But that's not how it works. But that's exactly I can tell. It's exactly what's going on because I keep clicking it thinking, oh, that's how I add the champion in. Not how that works. Yeah, that's fine. Unless you have any chests while on a run, yeah. And that technically can ruin a spot or two because you get silver. Huh? I don't understand. The answer is no. Can't open chests outside of a run? First off, you can't open chests outside of a run. You can only open chests inside of a run. Unless they change something? Oh, can you do it now that the store is an option? Can you go from maybe? But no, you want to do it in a run. Especially if it's like silvers or electrums, because they'll drop gold. I don't... You can open the campaign map out? Yeah, that would be a bad idea. I mean, I guess you can open golds from there, but you wouldn't want to open anything else. Yeah, so here's the thing. Like, silvers and electrums, they can drop gold for your current run. So you want to use those in a run. I guess now you can open golds outside of a run, but I would never. I've been playing this game so long, that's a new feature. That's a new feature, so. Your Nova's doing damage? T5 cats? That's wild. But yeah, you would just open them in a run. It doesn't ruin anything. It only helps because maybe it's something you want. Like here, do I have contracts? I do. Let's level up my Wyll because I got these out of chests. Trying to get her to. Lead. Let me get her to 50. Got it. Okay. So now my Diana's at 50, my Whittle's at 50. Where is Centric? Taking her up to 50. Basically, I'm trying to get my speed effects that have item support up to just the champion up to average item level 50 before going back to some of my more powerful speed champions. But yeah, I mean, you can get that stuff out of chests, so you want to get that stuff out of chests during a run and then use them. Like I could use these, but I mean, maybe, yeah, we can pop these. That's actually gold on this run as well, but maybe after we hit 200. It's partially, the gold you get is partially based on how far you've gone, so. want to get like one more, I guess one more silver off this for Wyll. We'll see what comes out of it. We'll see what comes out of it. God dang it! I did it again. Yeah, we need a 4 and a 6. It's not 4 and 6. There it is. Bravado, was that a... Okay, that was the 4. Cool. God, I really need one more chest. And it doesn't matter. I'll just pop these. Get a bunch of favor.